Thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green. We are continuing to follow breaking news of a crash on the I-5 ramp to I-84.
And I'm Matthew Herchik. We just learned that crash is fatal. Our Thomas Schultz is live at the scene right now. Thomas, what else do we know at this point?
Yeah, guys, look, Portland police told us about an hour ago that a person died in that crash. We are on the Burnside Bridge. We want to give you a shot of what that looks like. This is near the Markham Bridge, on the Markham Bridge actually, at the North I-5, I-84 split, where you can see those flashing lights. We presume that to be ODOT. Of course, Portland police have been on this scene all morning long as well. Just after 4 a.m. is when they first arrived, and you can see from our vantage point just a really slow trickle and a lot of a pile up and a lot of cars building up on Markham Bridge, just trying to get by. I want to show you another vantage point, if we can, of our photographer Chad Dehart getting stuck in this traffic right now, actually. You can see here just, once again, a big problem here in the early morning commute here in Portland. We've also got some video from a little bit earlier on scene that I want to bring up here as well. In the video, you can see that there's just debris on the roadway right at that split, again, on North I-5 and I-84. There's a car carrier truck as well, and just plenty of police officers on scene. Now, we do know that some of those police officers seem to be leaving this scene, so that seems to be a good sign at least. But look, when you have a fatal crash like this, especially where it's located at 4 o'clock in the morning, this is an investigation that is going to take quite some time. More than 90,000 commuters use Markham Bridge and use this area every day. This is, again, one of the biggest roadways all across the city of Portland. Chris, I know this is something you've been watching closely for quite some time, and look, this has got to be one of the biggest messes you've seen in quite a while.
Thomas, thanks for that. You mentioned photojournalist Chad Dehart. He's actually out on the other side of the freeway heading southbound on I-5, and that was a big backup as well. Interstate heading towards I-5 south. A lot of what you may say looky-loo action here. Folks slowing to see what's going on the other side of the freeway. So this is having an added impact of backing up the Banfield as well. Back live, I can give you the look from the Rose City Sky camera. And again, you can see northbound I-5 traffic again really backed up here. If you're coming in from the south at this point, plan on taking I-405. You can go over the Fremont Bridge, access Interstate 84 from the other side. But right now, I-5, again, that exit ramp continues to be blocked and probably will be for some time to come. Here's what it looks like from the Markham Bridge. And you can see, again, ODOT out there with their incident response team sending everybody over. This is starting to have a ripple effect, as we mentioned. Traffic on the inbound Banfield starting to back up as well. We'll keep you posted. This is going to be a rough morning commute for a little while. Rod?
All right, Chris, thank you for that. We are dry out there in Portland, but the radar is lit up with solid, steady rain, including Astoria, Longview, northward up into Seattle. Some of this rain now down into Clark County. And you can see Portland, there's Salmon Creek, just dry up in Clark County. Portland is right on the southern edge of just getting clipped by some of this rain at some point this morning, or just barely staying dry. No rain threat when you drop south down to the valley, including you folks in Salem. You're reporting cloudy skies and 45 degrees. Vancouver, the Springs to the waterfront, 46 degrees. Well, now reporting a sprinkle at least, and that is along the Columbia River. So that means that rain chance is creeping close to Portland, obviously. Temperatures out there today, 42 right now, cloudy skies, a rain threat, 49 at noon, and then later today clouds will start to thin a little bit, and we'll get up to about 55 as the kids get out of school. Back to you.
Rod, thank you. Well, as a partial government shutdown continues, it's now up to the House to pass a funding bill to reopen the government.
NBC's Alice Bauer has more on what it will take for the House to pass that funding bill and what could happen if the shutdown continues.
House members returned to an icy Washington today looking to unfreeze funding for large chunks of the government, now in a partial shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson predicting passage by tomorrow of a Senate-passed package that fully funds most of the government while splitting off the Department of Homeland Security.
I'm confident that we'll do it at least by Tuesday.
Congress then has 2 weeks to negotiate the immigration enforcement reforms Democrats are demanding, including ending roving ICE patrols and body cameras on all federal immigration officers. Speaker Johnson citing President Trump's border czar.
I think even Tom Homan has acknowledged both of those things are acceptable and what he was intending to do already. So I think we're on the path to get agreement.
The top Democrat in the House underscoring that path must lead to dramatic reform.
The administration can't just talk the talk. They need to walk the walk.
Some leading Democrats urging a no vote on even the short-term package, pressing to repeal a huge spike in funding ICE secured under last year's so-called Big Beautiful Bill.
I just don't see how in good conscience Democrats can vote for continuing ICE funding when they're killing American citizens.
That amid weekend vigils in Minneapolis for 2 people killed by federal immigration officers, Renee Good.
It's been very, very difficult.
And ICU nurse Alex Preddy.
He lived to help others, and that's what he did. And we were so fortunate to know him and have him as a friend.
Reminders of what's at stake as lawmakers look for agreement to reopen the government with key reforms. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We are taking a live look at the state capitol in Salem, where this morning the legislative session opens under a cloud of tension and uncertainty. Inside those chambers, lawmakers are bracing for a tough decision as they confront hundreds of millions of dollars in lost funding that could shape the state's future.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz lays out what lawmakers are hoping to accomplish.
The biggest priority this year is balancing the budget after the federal government slashed $900 million from the state budget. And state lawmakers here in Oregon don't have much time to grapple with the change. The short legislative session lasts just 35 days, and lawmakers say these cuts will have an impact that lasts a whole lot longer.
And what's worse is that this is going to be a long-term problem. We are looking at cuts to programs like Medicaid and SNAP of about $15 billion over the next 5 to 6 years.
Leaders will also focus on filling a nearly $300 million budget gap in the Department of Transportation. For more than a year, Democrats and Republicans have clashed over the best way to support the agency. Democrats have long argued for more funding. Republicans say ODOT already has enough money to accomplish its primary objectives.
I will say that there have been very thoughtful, specific conversations about existing dollars in the Oregon Department of Transportation. These are tough choices.
We don't want any more taxes, but we can resolve the ODOT budget without raising taxes.
Meanwhile, Governor Tina Kotek also plans to propose legislation about boosting the Oregon economy and adding more affordable housing statewide, but there's not a whole lot of time in this short legislative session. It ends on March 8th. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
We are nearing the halfway point in Washington's legislative session, so here are some major movements so far. The Washington Senate has passed a bill that would prohibit most law enforcement officers, including federal agents, from wearing masks while interacting with the public. That bill heads to the House. And a bill that would lower the legal blood alcohol level has narrowly passed the Senate. The bill would lower the BAC from 0.08 to 0.05. Lawmakers were divided on how this bill would change drunk driving crashes.
It's about changing the culture of driving in our state. I believe that when we pass this legislation and it becomes law, we will not only be safe, but we will feel safe on our roads.
If I thought 0.05 would change the outcome of deaths on the roads, I'd be all over this. But I truly believe that it's not going to do what it's going to do.
Another bill advancing through Olympia is one that would set a threshold for reckless driving charges. The bill would make driving more than 30 miles per hour over the posted speed limit an automatic driving offense. Right now, there's no set speed in the state. Prosecutors and law enforcement officers make that call.
Taking a live look outside at our Vancouver waterfront, looking very blue again.
Blue, yes.
Well, we're heading over to Rod for a look at the forecast, and got another little dry stretch coming up here, Rod.
Yeah, do you see the water? There are water droplets on the camera lens there. We are looking at a dry stretch today. Once we get past today's rain chance, no rain chance at all through Friday. But this morning, if you are just joining us, we're waking up to this. All this rain in Astoria, up through Clark County, solid rain if you're commuting up to Seattle early this morning. And Portland is right on the southern edge of maybe getting clipped by some of this rain and maybe not. We do have a trace of rain now being reported in Vancouver. So obviously the rain itself is being reported at times all the way down to the Columbia River. So we'll see if we get through this in downtown Portland with no raindrops, or if we get a little period of some passing rain. Temperatures 45 in a dry downtown Portland right now. Vancouver's Pearson Airfield reporting some light moisture in the air, 46 degrees. All dry in Wilsonville, 41. All dry in Salem, and 45. This afternoon, that rain chance lingers, by the way, mainly on a line north of Portland. You get thinning cloud cover to the south, and notice Eugene could hit 60. I mean, Salem and Albany pretty close to 60 today, perhaps reaching it. And you've got sunshine out east, John Day up to about 53. A nice day, partly cloudy skies in central Oregon, showing Bend and Madras each at 56. Here's that dry stretch that Matthew was alluding to. So we're right on the southern edge of maybe we get clipped of rain in downtown Portland, or maybe we stay dry. 55 the high. Tomorrow, no rain chance. 59 degrees, could be right there with the 61 that we had back on Saturday. East winds will be gusty out near the gorge starting Wednesday morning. Sunny skies, highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s. Rain chances return this upcoming weekend. That is your forecast. Here's Chris.
Rod, back to that big traffic alert on the east side. Again, I-5 northbound is closed at the I-84 East interchange. I should say the ramp to Interstate 84 is closed. I-5 is still passing by here, but the ramp itself to Interstate 84 East has been shut down for the better part of about 3 hours now because of an ongoing fatal crash investigation. So all of that traffic either continuing north up to Broadway and then turning around to get onto 84 East, or perhaps even heading up I-405 north and over the Fremont Bridge. You can access 84 eastbound from the north side up near the Rose Quarter. But this is what it looks like from the Markham Bridge. Again, ODOT incident responders there with the left lane, or the right lanes, I should say, blocked to the 84 East exit ramp. It is also having an impact on the other side of the freeway. This is southbound I-5, which is backing up here onto Interstate 84 westbound. So the Banfield also suffering along because of this ongoing crash investigation. China, Matthew, we'll keep you posted.
Thank you, Chris.
Lindsey Vonn has crashed out.
Still to come on Sunrise, Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn giving an update on her potential status at the Winter Olympics after crashing in a race on Friday, just days out from the opening ceremony in Milan. And as we get ready for the opening ceremony, which is now 4 days away, NBC's Jay Gray has a look at the two host cities as they get ready to welcome athletes from around the world. Your Olympic headlines. Sunrise continues in just 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Vonn is in the netting! Oh my goodness me!
That was the moment American alpine skier Lindsey Vonn crashed in a downhill race on Friday, just 1 week before the Olympics. She had to be airlifted to the hospital and skipped a World Cup Super G race Saturday. But her coach told the Associated Press that she remains on track for the Olympics. It's still unclear what her injury is. Vonn's first race comes on Sunday in the women's downhill. And this Friday is the opening ceremony for the Milan Cortina Olympics, which means that our Olympic coverage is just 4 days out.
And as the two host cities get ready to welcome athletes from around the world, NBC's Jay Gray is already in Milan and has a look at what it's taken to get to the opening ceremony.
The host is...
The host is Milan. 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 The host is Milan
Milano Cortina.
The celebration in northern Italy now stretching to excitement around the world as the 2026 Winter Games are set to begin.
The Milano Cortina 2026 Olympic Winter Games will bring together the best winter sport athletes in Bella Italia, a country that lives and breathes passion.
This is not the first time there have been dual host cities, but in what will be the most geographically widespread games, it is the first time there will be two Olympic cauldrons. One in Milan, home to the major indoor events, including figure skating, hockey, and speed skating. The second in Cortina, where along with a cluster of smaller cities in the Dolomite Mountains, the competitions will include alpine skiing, luge, curling, and more. In all, these Winter Games will feature 16 disciplines with more than 3,500 athletes from 93 countries competing for 195 medals.
They have been dreaming, training, eating, sleeping towards this very important day, or important time.
A time now fast approaching.
And the host cities say they are ready, mixing innovation with Italy's unique style and rich history to host the world's biggest winter party. Jay Gray, NBC News, Milan.
And don't forget that the Olympics will kick off on Friday, February 6th, with that opening ceremony in Milan. You can watch it at 11 a.m. or you can catch it again in prime time, only here on NBC and KGW.
We're so close.
Very exciting stuff.
Apparently my wife and daughter have invited people over, so I guess when I get home from work on Friday,
big watch party, huh?
There's going to be people already watching the Olympics at our house. Yeah.
Opening ceremony is fun. You always like to kind of see what the theme is and what they do with it and everything.
Yeah. Hard act to follow. Remember the opening ceremonies in Paris? It was amazing on the river.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Yeah,
but yeah, always a treat. Here's a look at what has continued to be a big frigid story. Cold air over the weekend did slide all the way down the East Coast into Florida, where there have been freezing temperatures. These are current numbers. So what is it now? Coming up on 7:30, coming up on 10:30 in Orlando. It's 42 degrees there. Just now above freezing in Atlanta. And New Orleans was actually freezing earlier this morning. They're at 42. So if you're going back east, that cold, and in many spots, the thaw simply has never even started. Now, here at home, it's been the opposite problem. We've had all these systems drop rain, not snow, up over the mountain. 29 degrees, freezing this morning at Timberline, but all dry. Bases are holding at 36 and 36, Timberline Meadows. The big headline here is Ski Bowl over the weekend had to suspend their ski and board operations because they're now down under a foot of snow on the ground on their slope face. Only 11 inches reported. Bachelor is a 27-inch base and just holding on. All right, well, we have a pretty convincing batch of rain. It's pushing inland west to east this morning. It's on a line near to just north of Portland, and then it's all steady rain up into Seattle. Here's a closer look. We've actually had raindrops on the lens of our Vancouver The Springs at the waterfront camera along the Columbia River. So this shows the rain line is mainly up along Salmon Creek in Clark County. So Portland will either just get clipped with some rain at some point this morning or will just stay dry. Thinning clouds during the day, especially south of the Rose City, where you folks in Salem, Eugene, could be actually close to 60 again this afternoon. Here's what the rain potential shows. This is just today, showing about 1/4 of an inch in Astoria and 17/100ths of an inch up in the Kelso-Longview area. So it's a wet morning drive if you're hitting I-5 and driving up to Seattle. Otherwise, dry through the gorge right now, 39 degrees. There's a rain chance of getting clipped along the Columbia through the gorge as well. The Dow's currently reporting 39. Valley forecast numbers, no rain chance here. About 60 degrees, McMinnville, Salem, and Corvallis. Portland, even after the rain yesterday, got into the upper 50s. Now, we hit that 61 on Saturday. Southwest Washington, cooler because of the clouds and the rain. Raining right now in Longview. Your expected high, if the rain moves to your north, you'll get up to about 52 today. Forecast is all bone dry Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. East winds will be back Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s. Rain returns, it looks like at this point, this upcoming weekend. All right, here's Chris McGinnis with an update.
Yeah, that big traffic alert continues on the east side, right I-5 northbound. The exit ramp to Interstate 84 remains closed for an ongoing fatal crash investigation. That happened around 4 o'clock this morning. The ramp has been closed for the better part of 3 hours. You can see ODOT incident responders there with their big trucks and the flares out on the freeway. So I-5 north is running really, really slow, as you can imagine, across the Markham Bridge. I can show you on the traffic map. The big red line here. So basically your best bet is if you're coming in from the south, south side of town, Tiger, Tualatin, Wilsonville. In fact, if you're coming in from Tualatin or Wilsonville, you may want to consider I-205. But otherwise, take I-405 over the Fremont Bridge and you can access Interstate 84 eastbound from there. But again, the ramp from I-5 north to eastbound 84 remains closed, and that is having a ripple effect across the freeway system as well. You can see the inbound Banfield traffic running a little extra busy coming in from the Hollywood district. This is the ramp onto I-5 south. So again, a real big mess right now on the east side. China and Matthew will keep you posted.
Chris, thank you. Millions of new Epstein documents released over the weekend. We'll have the latest when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
New information is coming to light from the millions of newly released documents from the Epstein files.
This as another new batch of those documents was released overnight on Saturday. NBC's Melanie Zanoha has the latest.
New fallout this morning from the Justice Department's release of millions of pages of Epstein documents.
This is the most documents that we have seen released so far in history, but it is not good enough.
The files showing a web of connections between Jeffrey Epstein and powerful people throughout the world, including references to former Prince Andrew, seen here kneeling over an unidentified woman. No details were provided about the circumstances of the photo. The UK Prime Minister now calling on Andrew to testify in front of Congress, saying Epstein's victims have to be the first priority. Andrew was stripped of his royal titles last year because of his Epstein ties, but has long vigorously denied allegations of abuse and misconduct related to Epstein. The DOJ also posted, then temporarily removed without explanation, a spreadsheet of complaints made to the FBI, including unverified allegations about both President Trump and former President Bill Clinton. The FBI determined some of those tips were not credible or corroborated. President Trump and former President Clinton have denied any wrongdoing, and they have not been accused by authorities. The Deputy Attorney General saying Sunday multiple well-known people were in that spreadsheet.
There have been hundreds of
calls made to the FBI where allegations are made by either anonymous individuals or people who are very quickly determined to not be credible.
The DOJ's files also include multiple images and video, including of Epstein speaking with MAGA strategist Steve Bannon in 2019, just months before Epstein's arrest and suicide.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
Bannon, who's not accused of wrongdoing and was never publicly part of any investigation into Epstein, has not responded to NBC's request for comment. Now, some survivors say they're frustrated with the way some private information was not redacted in the release. Danny Bensky tells us she was infuriated to see her own name, address, and phone number in the files.
I thought it was carelessness, and then I went to incompetence, and now it feels a bit deliberate. I feel like the Department of Justice has really made us feel unsafe.
That was Melanie Zenona reporting. Meanwhile, 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father are back home in Minnesota after being released from immigration custody on Saturday after an order from a federal judge. This video shows the moment Liam and his father walked out of the detention center, escorted by Texas Representative Joaquin Castro. Immigration agents detained Liam and his dad in their driveway in Minnesota on January 20th and were being held in a family residential center in Texas. Coming up in our next half hour, breaking news over the Marking Bridge, where we are learning a pedestrian was struck and killed near the I-5 ramp. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live with what we know so far. Plus, parts of the southeast buried under snow and ice. The latest on the winter weather happening across the country. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW+. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW+. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Coming up on 7:29 on your Monday morning drive, and we start with this big traffic alert on the northbound Markham Bridge. Specifically, the exit ramp to eastbound 84 is still closed. It has been since just after 4 o'clock this morning because of a fatal crash involving a pedestrian that was struck and killed on the freeway. That's what Portland police have told us earlier this morning. You can see here the traffic is really backing up on the Markham Bridge. So to avoid this at this point, your best bet's to take I-405 over the Fremont and work your way back down towards Interstate 84. This ramp, again, probably closed for a little while longer as that investigation is ongoing. Rod, we'll keep you posted.
All right, Chris, thank you for that. Big weather story is the rain that's been holding generally just north of Portland and then steady all the way up into Seattle. So it's a rainy morning in southwest Washington. Here's Lewis River Golf Course in Woodland, and you can see that's definitely wet. Here are now raindrops increasing along the Columbia River from the Vancouver to the Springs at the waterfront. So you folks coming out of rain in southwest Washington. Portland's right on the edge. PDX also now reporting some light rain and 46. 50s later today.
We are continuing to follow breaking news of a crash on the I-5 ramp to I-84.
Yeah, we just learned that crash is fatal. Thomas Schultz is live. Thomas, what else do we know right now?
Yeah, well, guys, I mean, you can look right behind us. This is coming off the Markham Bridge right on the east side here in Portland. This is North I-5. You can see just heavy traffic backed up. And if we pan over to the left here, you can see that a car is stalled right at the 84 split. It's unclear, but that car looks like it was part of a crash, and it's been here since we've been here on the Morrison Bridge for about half an hour now. You can see also this split where this crash happened is completely blocked off by police. Once again, police telling us that a pedestrian was hit and killed in a crash. That's why they've blocked I-84 here at the North I-5, I-84 split. I also want to give us some video here from photographer Chad Dehart, who is stuck on the Markham Bridge, to give a little bit of a better sense of just how broad and how big of an issue this is becoming here on the Markham Bridge as that morning commute is getting in full swing here. Just heavy traffic. It's been that way since we've been here for about 45 minutes, an hour now, and it doesn't appear like it's going to change anytime soon. Let's show you some video as well from earlier this morning when police first were responding on scene. Police getting here just after 4 o'clock this morning, again, as part of an investigation into a fatal pedestrian crash. You can see debris in the roadway. That debris is still there as well. There's also a car carrier that was on scene. That has since left. But again, look, this is an issue that's going to prevail for quite some time here, seemingly going to be a problem for hours here. We do know that some police have left the scene, but of course, a lot remain. And Chris, it doesn't look like I-84 at this split is going to open anytime soon.
Yeah, and of course you can see the exit ramp then to the east side and Water Avenue. Also, of course, involved in this closure as you look at northbound I-5 traffic there lining up across the Markham Bridge. So if you're coming in from the south, your best bet, plan on taking I-405 over the Fremont Bridge. Here's what it looks like from the top deck of the Markham. Again, northbound I-5 with ODOT and their incident responders telling people, again, get out of the right lanes as those are blocked. It has also impacted inbound traffic on the Banfield because, of course, I-5, I-84 comes into I-5 southbound, and so folks have been slowing to kind of see what's going on over here. This is about where the closure is, so it's just on the other side of this. This is I-5 North proper. And then that right there would be the ramp to Interstate 84, which of course is closed and has been for some time. That is our big traffic trouble spot at this time. Again, the area to avoid over on the east side. We'll keep you posted. Rod?
All right, thank you for that, Chris. You do have rain now being reported along the Columbia River, both Washington and Oregon side, and that's from the steady fetch that has been with us all morning. So if you're driving up to Seattle, once you cross the Columbia River, it is steady rain all the way up. Dry in Salem, and we do not believe once you get south of the Portland area that there will be any rain today. In fact, your clouds in Salem are expected to thin out. 45 degrees at Providence Park right now, cloudy skies. PDX is at 46 with raindrops reported. Later today, some thinning of the cloud cover will be up into the low to mid 50s for a high. Once we get out of today, the forecast goes bone dry again tomorrow all the way into Friday. Back to you.
Rod, thank you. Detectives with Salem Police are investigating two separate cases of suspicious deaths. The first happened after 1 o'clock Friday afternoon when police were first called to a home off Dark Forest Place Northeast. And when they got there, they found a woman's body. Then around 6:30 that evening, they responded near Wallace Marine Park and found another woman's body. Right now, officials say they don't see any connection between the two cases and say there is no threat to the public.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office is asking for victims to reach out after they arrested a man on multiple rape charges. 24-year-old Jacob Kozer, also accused of strangulation, assault, menacing, and more. Detectives believe that he met a victim through Tinder and may have also used the app Pure. He's being held on a $500,000 bail. The Sheriff's Office released his photo in hopes that any other victims recognize him and reach out. And remember that help is always available. Just dial that number there on your screen, 1-800-656-4673 to reach the National Sexual Assault Hotline anytime, 24/7.
But this morning, we're hearing reaction from protesters and lawmakers after some protesters were tear gassed outside the Portland ICE facility on Saturday.
That includes some children, sparking protests throughout the weekend at the ICE building. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has more.
Hundreds of people marched from City Hall in downtown Portland down to the ICE facility in South Portland after federal agents dispensed tear gas on Saturday. Here's some video captured by a protester of a young girl having her eyes flushed out after federal agents gassed protesters following a union rally where thousands of people marched to the ICE facility. We spoke to the man who took the video. Here's what he said.
Her crying and, saying it hurts, and the medic saying like, I know, but it's going to get better, keep blinking, keep spitting to get the gas out. And I just thought, what have we come to?
Over the weekend, Governor Tina Kotek said she believed excessive force was used in Portland, saying federal agents must stop the indiscriminate and unlawful uses of crowd control tools. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson added the city is moving swiftly to impose a fee on detention facilities that use chemical agents. That ordinance went into effect last month. Still, some protesters say it's not enough.
Fines is not the way that we're going to address this emergency. We need emergency legislation to shut down the building and prevent them from continuing to tear gas our communities.
We reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for comment about this. We didn't hear back. Meanwhile, Portland police say they didn't make any arrests at the ICE facility Saturday night. The Bureau also adds that Portland police did not dispense any munitions. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Meanwhile, Governor Kotek is speaking out in support of this weekend's peaceful protests across the state. This comes after a riot was declared in Eugene Friday night when someone attending a protest smashed windows and breached Eugene's federal building. On Sunday, Kotek and Eugene Mayor Karin Knudsen held a press conference. Both leaders condemned those actions but stayed supportive of peaceful opposition to the federal government's immigration enforcement crackdown.
I rejected the dangerous language that we're hearing from the president in the last couple days, saying that people who dissent are engaged in disorderly conduct or criminality. We know that's not true.
Peaceful protest is a sign of health in a functioning democracy. It does not include property damage or vandalism or assault, and you know this.
They have also said they have no intention of requesting federal support in sending agents to local communities.
With the government in a partial shutdown, it's now up to the House to pass a funding bill to get it reopened. A House committee vote is set for this afternoon. Senate Democrats passed the funding package last Friday to fully fund most of the government while splitting off the Department of Homeland Security. Congress then has 2 weeks to negotiate the immigration enforcement reforms, including roving ICE patrol and body cameras on immigration officers.
I think even Tom Homan has acknowledged both of those things are acceptable and what he was intending to do already. So I think we're on the path to get agreement.
And meanwhile, the top Democrat in the House emphasized that the path forward must lead to significant reform.
The administration can't just talk the talk, they need to walk the walk.
If the two parties can't agree on immigration reform over the next 2 weeks, funding could be at risk for FEMA, TSA, and the Coast Guard, all under the Department of Homeland Security.
Turning to weather, millions of people are under cold alerts this morning across the southeast and east coast. Portions of Interstate 85 in North Carolina were shut down Sunday with more than 100 drivers stranded amid several crashes. The National Guard were called in to help. Many coastal communities are also warned about high tides and flooding. 15 Red Cross volunteers from Oregon and Washington were deployed to areas of the southeast impacted by winter storms over the past week. One volunteer from southern Oregon arrived in Parsons, Tennessee, a small town about 2 hours from Nashville. She says people there have been dealing with extreme cold and the loss of water and power. The shelter she's been working at has seen between 6 and 14 people staying there at a time.
It's been a lifesaver for somebody. If you go home and you're in 14-degree weather, it's cold. It's really cold.
Red Cross volunteers from the Pacific Northwest also responded to Mississippi, South Carolina, and Texas.
Here in the Northwest, the warmer and drier conditions continue to impact the local ski season. Mount Hood Ski Bowl announced that it is suspending all ski and ride operations, though tubing will continue as normal. You can check skibowl.com for the latest update.
It's time to head over to Rod for a look at the forecast. Yeah, it's been a rough winter for skiers and snowboarders, Rod.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers, guys. Since January 9th, Timberline, 6,000 feet, has only picked up 9 inches of total snow. Wow. Ski Bowl, since the same date, you think that's bad, has picked up 2 inches of snow since January 9th, and they are now less than a foot on their front face, so they've had to suspend skiing and boarding operations because of that. It is at least freezing up on the hill this morning. There's Timberline Live, 30 degrees. Maybe there's a touch of moisture hitting the mountain this morning. Anything that falls would be light. Now, Timberline Meadows both holding at 36-inch bases, but their Ski Bowl now less than a foot, and Bachelor at 27. So that continues to be a bad news situation. There are signs of a changing weather pattern developing next week that could give us a couple of weeks of, at least multiple, maybe numerous, but at least multiple weather systems bringing decent snow below Cascade Pass level. So hopefully we're going to start turning the page somewhat. Here are those current temperatures across the east. Now it's coming up on it's after 10:30 in the morning in Atlanta, where they're just now above freezing, 35 degrees, 23 in New York, 25 in Chicago. Still a lot of cold weather there. And then here at home, we're watching this solid, steady rain from the Columbia River at this point all the way up into Seattle. Been raining all morning in Astoria. Portland is going to continue to be right on the edge of either getting clipped by some of this rain or in downtown just staying dry. Here are the clouds looking up to the north. And here's Molly, our pet of the day, on this Groundhog Monday. Use that email address, petoftheday@kgw.com. Send us your pet's photo, and they will be featured on our show. The cloudiness should be thinning to the south of Portland today. That's why Salem's going to be close to 60. And the rain chance starts to lift to the north at some point later this afternoon as well, where it's raining in Kelso and Astoria and all the way down to the Columbia River. 55 today, starting tomorrow through Friday, all dry. No rain in the forecast whatsoever. And here is Chris McGinnis.
Thanks for that. We pick it up with that big traffic alert on the east side. A reminder, the exit ramp from I-5 northbound to Interstate 84 east, that also includes the exit to Water Avenue, is still blocked at this time as Portland police are ongoing with a fatal crash investigation. They tell us it's just after 4 o'clock this morning, a pedestrian was struck and killed along that exit ramp, and so that investigation continues. The ramp has been closed since just after 4 o'clock, and you can see that northbound I-5 traffic is running really, really heavy. So the important thing to know here, if you're coming up from the south, you can use 405 over the Fremont Bridge. You can access Interstate 84 eastbound from there, or some of this northbound traffic may just very well head up to the Broadway exit and then turn around. But in any event, that exit ramp remains closed. There you can see from the top deck of the Markham Bridge that the I-5 traffic is really, really backed up. It's also created kind of a ripple effect with some slowing on the inbound Banfield as well. So lots of extra time needed to get through this. Happy to report that that's our only major trouble spot. Right now, the drive out of Clark County is busy, but we expect this just shy of 20 minutes gets you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Matthew?
Chris, thank you. Well, music's biggest night has come to a close. Coming up, we have a look at the night's biggest winners when Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
The 68th Annual Grammy Awards featured powerful performances, preaching on politics, and some big names taking home some big awards.
David Daniel has the highlights from the music's biggest night.
Bad Bunny, debí tirar más fotos.
An overwhelmed Bad Bunny warmed up for the Super Bowl by accepting 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year.
I'm gonna say, eyes out. We don't hate them. We love our people, we love our family, and that's the way to do it, with love.
Immigration was also on the minds of Song of the Year winners Billie Eilish and Phineas.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
And Best New Artist winner Olivia Dean.
I guess I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated.
Jelly Roll celebrated Jesus after winning a trio of trophies.
Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him.
Talk about a trailblazer.
A lengthy in memoriam segment featured Reba McEntire's first ever Grammys performance. And all-star tributes to Ozzy Osbourne and to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack.
I feel like making love. Kendrick Lamar!
The night's biggest winner was Kendrick Lamar with 5 awards, including Record of the Year, giving him 27 lifetime, passing Jay-Z as the Grammy's most awarded rapper.
So I appreciate y'all. God is the glory. Love y'all.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, your time now is 7:46. Taking a look at the weather with Rodney Hill. We have some dry days ahead.
We do. I think we are now getting raindrops into Portland, so the chance of no rain at all is tomorrow through Friday. That rain batch we've been tracking all morning and telling you that the southern edge of potential is right around downtown Portland. It looks like that has arrived. It's all steady rain. If you are up and you've got to drive to Seattle this morning, there's your drive from Battleground, Longview, Chehalis, all the way up into Olympia, Long Beach, Astoria. Rain just kind of clipping near Tillamook. So here's the southern edge, Tillamook to Portland. I don't really think this rain moves any more to the south than what we're seeing. At 9 o'clock this morning, it shows it near Portland and then to the north. And then the rain itself later today starts to shift northward. And we get thinning clouds big time this afternoon for you folks in Salem, Albany, and southward down into Eugene. And then once that lifts out of here later today or this evening to our north, the forecast is literally bone dry all the way through Friday. This does pick up a little bit of valley fog tomorrow morning. No wind today, no wind tonight. But during the day tomorrow, easterlies will start picking up out of the gorge, and we'll see those gusty east winds back Tuesday overnight and Wednesday morning. Now for today, here's where most of the rain is. Astoria about 1/4 inch, Kelso 17/100. Portland picking up a trace of rain already. Here's a look at one of our really wet cameras. This is in Gearhart by the Sea Resort, up there by the Gearhart Link Golf Course. And you can see it's really wet. And there's the reduced visibility looking back at Seaside and Tillamook Head this morning. Now, opposite situation in Salem, completely dry but overcast, no rain chance expected. 45 is your number. Portland 46, starting to get light rain in the area as I mentioned, and then all wet up to Seattle where it's 44. Should be a dry day in Bend, 34, and a dry day out east as well, starting off chilly with some early morning sun, Baker City and Burns. Here's a look at the forecast numbers for today coming at you. Valley forecast numbers with thinning cloudiness for partly sunny to maybe even mostly sunny eventually, especially south of Salem. Temperatures expected to get back up to about 60. If you haven't heard, PDX did make it to 61 on Saturday. Remember, that was the big headline on Friday. 60 degrees Saturday and rain on Sunday. So that forecast turned out to be pretty good. 52 in Battleground today in Longview. You will need the rain to end this afternoon and for that rain area to push up to your north to get that warm. Winds continuing to be light. 55 today in Portland. Here's the all dry weather Tuesday into Friday. Warmest day of the week I think is tomorrow, nearing 60. And then east winds will be gusty by Wednesday morning. We have showers and some rain in the forecast both days this upcoming weekend. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Okay, let's get back to the drive, and I can show you right now. This is the live look right now from photojournalist Eric Patterson, who's been on the scene of this crash involving the closure of I-5 North to eastbound 84. You can see Portland police still out there with their ongoing crash investigation. This was a fatal crash involving what Portland police say was a pedestrian on the freeway early this morning. It happened just after 4 o'clock, and that ramp has been closed since. You can see here as Eric pans to the right, the lineup on the I-5 commute coming off the Markham Bridge. So obviously this is adding a lot of time to folks commute over on that side of town. If you're coming up from the south, your best bet to use I-405 and head over the Fremont Bridge, but know that you're not alone. That drive is going to be extra busy as folks scurry to find other ways to get over to the east side. So again, that ramp from I-5 North eastbound 84, China, that's still closed. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you, Chris. The cutest little baby elephant you ever seen, Tula Too, is officially 1 year old. Coming up, we have a look back at her birthday celebration when Sunrise Streaming Live at 7 continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
She weighs nearly 1,000 pounds, has been featured on the Today Show, and served as honorary Grand Marshal for the Rose Festival. The Oregon Zoo's favorite baby elephant, Tula Too, is celebrating her first birthday.
She's a big girl. Libby Dow set to join the crowd for her party at the zoo.
Happy birthday, Tula Too. I hope you are happy today. From Everett.
Everett wasn't the only one excited to celebrate the Oregon Zoo's most popular toddler, Tula Too.
She's pretty precious and she's very adorable.
They're almost the same age, so he had to come out and celebrate.
The crowd was huge, and Tula Too was not afraid to strut her stuff. And she didn't seem to mind getting up close and personal with my camera.
She's growing into be quite an imps. You know, she's definitely full of herself. She knows she's the center of attention.
She's just utterly charming.
Keepers say Tula adds a positive dynamic to the zoo's Asian herd. She bonds well with her auntie Shine as they bulk up on some birthday bamboo.
She'll be putting on more weight. She'll be getting bigger as she goes. She'll be getting into more trouble, I'm sure, with, mischief, if you will.
With elephant years similar to human years, trainers say Tula Too is advanced for a toddler.
Did you see the elephant?
She's coming right up to the cables. She's in a safe place. She knows it.
Staff says Tula Too will grow safely here, far away from the animal-human conflicts taking the lives of so many elephants around the world. Here, she's backed by her herd and hundreds of other well-wishers.
All right, all together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Tula Too. Happy birthday to you. Thank you guys. I'm Gus Jeffers. This is Noe Lopez on guitar.
Very cute. And if you are interested in seeing Tula Too and all the other animals in person, you can get tickets from February 28th to March 6th for only $13. And starting on February 28th, the zoo is switching to spring hours, meaning it'll be open every day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with last entry at 4 o'clock. For more information, including ticket reservations, head to the Oregon Zoo's website.
The Seattle Seahawks have touched down in California, the final stop on an epic journey that has led them to the grandest stage in football, Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara.
The team will enter the Super Bowl on a 9-game winning streak, and of course the last time these two teams played against each other with the Lombardi on the line, the Patriots came out on top. Over the weekend, some Seahawks fans went out to the airport hours in advance to see the team off.
Lots of driving around trying to see where the entrance is.
It's been a secret this whole time, so we've just been driving around and figuring where the buses are going to be coming in from.
I'm feeling great. I'm with my grandkids and my daughter and son-in-law, and we did it back in 2015. We were here over at 188, and I'm glad we found the spot.
A reminder, you can watch Super Bowl 60 right here on KGW. Kickoff is at 3:30 Sunday afternoon.
Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the latest in what we are learning about the fatal crash on I-5 near the Markham Bridge.
Our Thomas Schultz is there live, and we'll have what we know.